Hi, this is Mrs. Hickey, and this is the work for April 1st, and it's Wednesday. Sex-linked traits. So first we're going to go over the sex-linked traits, and then we'll talk about how do you read a pedigree. So the sex-linked traits are traits that are happening on the X chromosome. Now, females have two XX chromosomes, as you can see here. This would be a female, this would be a male. This would be the mom, this is the dad, okay? And if we're going to do this Punnett square, they're telling us that if we bring over the X and bring down an X, we're gonna have a female. If we bring over this X and bring down this X, another female, because females have XX chromosome to say what their gender is. Now over here, if we're bringing over this Y and bring down this X, this would be a male. Bring down this X, bring over this Y, this is another male. So we have 50% male children, offspring, 50% female offspring. So the probability of having a male or female child is 50% each time. So if you look here, you can see that the Y chromosome is missing something, some of its information on the X chromosome. See how it's missing a little bit there? So a male has an XY. Only women can be carriers because they have the XX. So they have one X that's going to cancel out the other. Because if we remember that in order to have a recessive show itself, it has to have two recessive alleles, but not in a sex-linked trait disorder, because all they need is one X in the male. Now the female has the two X's to cancel it out, but not the male because he only has an X and a Y. So if we look at this Punnett square here, we have the X and the X. So this would be the female parent and this is the male parent. The male parent, this one here, does not have the disorder. This one here, she is a carrier. See how she has that lowercase m? So we bring over this X with the uppercase M. We bring down this X with the uppercase M. This is dominant traits. This female is not a carrier and does not have the disorder. We bring over this X with the uppercase M and we bring down this Y. This is a male. This is a dominant allele here, so he does not have the disorder, okay? Now this X here, we bring that over and it's right here, lowercase m. We bring down this X with the uppercase M. This is a female. She is a carrier. Now let's bring over this lowercase X with the X with the lowercase m and bring down this Y. This here is a male offspring. He has the disorder because he has the lowercase m, which is a recessive trait, and because he does not have the other X, this offspring, this male offspring, has the disorder. Okay, so sex-linked disorders, recessive disorders that are recessive and are passed on through the X chromosome. Okay, they are more common in men because men don't have an X chromosome to correct the recessive disorder. So common examples of this are hemophilia. And if you're interested in knowing what that one is, that is on your list of a project that I'm going to have you do that is a genetic disorder. Muscular dystrophy, male pattern baldness, and red-green color blindness. Now we're just going to look at what is this pedigree and how do I read it, okay? So if we look over here, the square is a male and the female is a circle. Now, what is a pedigree? It's a family tree chart that tracks the inheritance of a specific trait. So you would use this to find out if there is some genetic disorder that is keeps coming up in your family, they would make a pedigree, and they are charting it, trying to figure out where is it coming from. So you start with 2 carrier parents. Therefore, this is not a sex-link pedigree disorder chart. This is just how do you read this pedigree chart, okay? So now we have the male, the female. Let's look over here. If it's half, that means they're a carrier. If it's shaded, that means they have the disorder. If it's unshaded, they don't have it. They're unaffected by it. So if we look, we have the male, which is the dad, and this is the female. See how this line connects them? That tells us that they are parents of, see this line here? This comes down and all the way over, and it's connecting to this circle, and that circle's a female, and this one's connecting to the male, and then they have another male child, then they have a female child, then they have a male child. Now, they told us if it has the line, that means they're a carrier. So these 2 males are carriers. This female is affected by the disorder. Now, if you notice, there isn't a line connecting this female. That's because their male child has married this female. And this line is telling us that these are their children, okay? So this son is a carrier. This mom is not affected by the disorder. This line is showing us that this is their son. This line here is showing us that this is their daughter. This line here is this is their son, and this line here is their daughter. The daughter is a carrier and the son is a carrier. So this would be generation 1, generation 2, and this would be generation 3. So these would be their grandparents then. Okay, so this line here are the grandchildren and the grandparents. So this is for you to fill in this sheet right here. And then some more, how do we go over and how do we read a pedigree? So they're just telling us up here that this is a circle and it's a female. This is a male, which is a square. And the circle represents a female. The square represents a male. A shaded shape, that's a shaded shape, represents a family member with one expression of the trait. For example, dimples. So this person, which is a female, has dimples. This one does not. This would be a male, no dimples. Shapes that are not shaded represent members with no dimples. So this person has no dimples, and this person happens to be a male. Now, if they have a line that's connected, you have the circle that's the female, then you have the male. So these 2 are married, okay? Their 2 are parents. So this parent is a female, okay? And she has dimples. And this is the dad, and he does not have dimples. This line here shows that these are their children. See how it's connected by this little line here? That means these are their children. So the lines connecting the parents to the children is here, and the oldest child are placed on the left. So this daughter's the oldest. This is the middle daughter, and the son is the youngest. So oldest to youngest. So we go from left to right. So this is the Lee family. And this is our first generation. This would be our second generation. And this is our third generation. Okay, so we have the female not shaded, so she does not have dimples. And now we have The father, he has dimples. So we come down here, and this tells us that these two are the parents of these children here. Only the ones that are connected. Okay? So these are their children. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Lees have 4 children. And then this child, which is a female, her partner, with their parenting is right here. And then we go down here and they have 2 male sons. We go over here. This one didn't get married. This one here is married. They have dimples. Their child has a dimple. See, this is their child. Go back up here. This is their daughter. The daughter married a man with dimples. They had 3 children. One is a female, which is this one here is the oldest. This one is a female with dimples. This one is a male with dimples. So oldest to youngest, left to right. Now you can answer these questions. Then I would like for you to read this here and get some background knowledge for yourself. And then I will give you your project for Friday, and it is not due till next Friday. So let me push that out to you, and that will be on this week's, but it's not due for an entire week. Okay, I will talk to you about your projects tomorrow. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Good luck. If you have any questions, you know where to find me.